Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 3 of the Kingdoms and Castles series. If you haven't watched the previous 2 episodes, I'd highly suggest that, but let's get into it. So today for episode 3, I think we are going to be focusing on defense and building up our military. So we're going to be trying to get the barracks and different towers. But right now, I'm going to unpause the game. We left off last episode with just building the Chamber of War. And right before a Viking raid. So if you look up here into the top right where the map is, you'll see the Vikings and a dragon. And you can see how many years until you have an either invasion or a dragon sighting coming. So if you want to know where the years are, you can look over to the event page to see how many years are past. So, but right now I think we should be focusing on getting the barracks. So the barracks actually is quite cheap compared to the other utilities, goodness gracious, that are in the kingdom. So we only need about 45 gold, which is actually quite cheap. But right now we have a Viking. I'm setting this to top 3. The Vikings are coming in and invading from the north, I think, or whatever this side of the island is. And it's gonna take them a little bit. So it's year 28 right now, as you can see in the events tab. And my people are very hungry, really, really hungry. I am not a good king. Let's make some more food for them. But as you can see, there is 3 groups of Vikings. Pretty sure, yeah. 2 Vikings are kind of blended right here, and then there's a ship that counts as 1 as well. The ships can also be sunk, with damage dealt to them, but it does take quite a bit of a damage. So you'll be eventually able to destroy them with ballistas and other useful things like that. But I think they're just gonna light my field. Okay. They're not going to go for anything important. Doesn't look like it. And my tower is just out of range. Oh, no. Oh, why wouldn't you go for the gold? Why don't you go for my... they're just going for it, actually. I can't do anything because I don't have a mobilized army. That will come with the barracks. So... they're actually setting a lot of things on fire. Listen... okay, that's quite an interesting raid. You can just repair those instantly by using the rebuild tool, which is probably the best unit they've added, best tool they've added to the game, because it used to be that you'd have to click each one manually, or they used to not even have that. You'd have to destroy all the ruins and have to rebuild the entire structure. So that's quite of a nice tool they have added. But last episode, I mentioned how badly I placed these, and I kind of wanted to enhance my ideas on how to build housing units. So this is 5 wide. I would suggest building a 5 wide housing area when you can start building manors more efficiently. So this is a manor. This holds 25 people. So it's more than double a cottage housing residence. But they do also cost gold. It costs 25 gold for each one, plus that's plus 50 wood and plus 35 stone. But we don't have to worry about our resources, wood and stone. We more have to worry about our gold. So I'm actually going to place down a manor, and I'm going to place down 2 manors because we want that friend bonus. Because they'll have more happiness when there are other buildings next to them, and other things such as roads and wells and taverns and churches and other things like that. So it's important just to keep that in mind, that they like having neighbors. But they've also added in recent updates that the houses across the street count as neighbors, which is also really nice. So just some nice features. So the reason that I'm doing a 5 wide, and that's why it's so important, because you can put a house right here, and on the other side, you can have a space in between. So if we put a manor here, we can add wells and clerics and librarians to the middle, and we don't have to worry about finding space for them, because we're adding space. We're leaving space for them in the future. Now, I did things up here wrong, because I didn't add manors. I didn't use manors. I didn't have the gold for it, but we're not going to change this little area, because I don't want to. But everything's still inside the festival circle, and everything is still inside the tavern circle. Oh, something started on fire, but good thing we have a well there. Oh, but it is out of range of the manors, so we're gonna add another one. And since we added this little 1 square area, we just add them to anywhere right there. Quite nice. And we're gonna add another tower. Since the Vikings like attacking our food resources, we're gonna add a tower here. And this tower is also gonna get rid of those wolves, I think. Place one right there. And it should be in the range. Yeah, that should definitely take care of the wolves. Now, our goal is the barracks, so I think we can actually place one down. Yes. So this will allow us to start getting a mobilized army. We can actually start building units, and we can have commanders with them. So we're gonna put it, I think we decided on here last episode, this area. But if I add it, oh, I'm so dilemmaed by this. I get caught up in like the look of everything. I'm gonna add it right there. I'm gonna add it right there, right behind the keep, because the keep is just large enough to house it behind it. And once it's up, I think we could start working on the more technical side of our kingdom. Since our kingdom is very small, very, very small right now, I plan on having this whole island industrialized. That's the word. Our happiness is 77 right now, and I think it will stay up because everything is in good health. We should probably get some more food variants, because if you go down to here in the health section and click it, you can see that right there it says 98% are getting wheat and bread. There's 90%, 96% fruits available to everyone, and 0% for fish and pork. Now, it's important that we should get the fish and pork, just because it's really going to boost our happiness, and people are not happy right now. Kind of a good thing we added a space here. Actually, that's really convenient. I'm surprised that fit. That's perfect for the church. Okay, that's kind of cool. So hopefully that will fix our happiness problem, because that is minusing to us, so don't like that. Since we have the barracks open, it needs armaments. So right now we don't have any iron or anything to get armaments. But there is an iron down here, and there's iron. We found in episode 1, all the iron is over here in a nice little cluster. We won't use that right now. Oh, and yep, the wolves are gone. But we'll need to eventually get some iron mines going. Oh, and the dragon has appeared. Now the dragon's now going to start things on fire. I think this is the second visit we've had. He's going to actually take a lot of damage. More than I thought. Lower than a half. Now, archers don't do a lot against dragons. But archers do great against Vikings and other Viking units. Ballistas are what's going to kill dragons. They do the most amount of damage, but they are slow reloading. And they have a much higher range. So if we put one up here, as you can see, that blue range is where it can shoot, and that little blue circle around the tower is where it doesn't have any range. So if you ever played Clash of Clans, it's kind of like the Eagle Artillery or Mortar you get in that game. As a nerd, I love building kingdoms, and that's just a great game. I think we should actually start getting iron. So I'm going to build a road down to our iron deposit down here. And we need to chop down those woods. So we're going to grab the chop tool and clear out that. Well, we're going to clear out more than that. Okay, going to bring a road over there. And we're going to click our industry. And then we're going to click our iron mine. And it's the same as rock. So we can have 2 mines on the same thing. Now, for the iron to actually be, like, useful, you need blacksmiths. And blacksmiths come in the same tab, and they're right here. Now, houses don't like being next to blacksmiths, and they'll lower the happiness of the certain houses the closer they are to the blacksmith. So we're going to take the blacksmith, and we're going to put them kind of in their own little area. I'm going to put them next to the keep, and hopefully we don't have too many that they're built all the way over here and right next to the houses. Because I'm maybe going to plan a road right down through here. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. It's probably the smartest thing I could do. Oh. And it looks like Vikings are coming. Now, mind you, this is on the hard setting, because I feel like the hard setting is kind of normal for me, but as Vikings and dragons come a little bit more than normal. So just that's why they're coming so fast. Yes, we do. Right there. So this shouldn't be too bad for us if they start anything on fire. That Viking should be killed. It is, and they took the gold, but we killed it, so we got the gold right back. Vikings will also steal your peasants. So you have to be, you will want to kill them. so you can get your peasants back. That used to not be the case back in the beta versions and beta version. If they stole a peasant and they died with the peasant would also die. So that's kind of a good change. But some of our buildings are broken and like hurting. As you look at this cottage, you can see the cracks in it. So we're gonna come down to our industry and we're gonna pick up the mason. The mason repairs buildings. It can repair walls or other buildings. So we're gonna put that up here in this unusable farmland area. We're gonna put 2 down. Okay, we need hospitals. Our health is kind of in the tank right now with 58. Oh, nice, a bustling city. We got having 250 people housed in our city. So, okay. Since the health is bad because they want a hospital, we're gonna place a hospital up here. Hospitals and clinics help with plagues, and they help by curing the people who have the plague and stop the spread of plague. So I don't think I went over that first episode. So that's why I put this clinic here, because of the plague. Okay, and since we have the barracks now, but we don't have any armaments, but we are producing since we're producing iron and we have a blacksmith, it's gonna be producing tools. Now tools are used to help foresters and other areas like miners and foresters and farmers, but we don't want them making tools. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna select, we're gonna unselect that one. So it's only going to be making armaments. So armaments are only used in barracks and archeries to produce soldiers. So you want to get as many armaments as possible. Well, we need 20 right now. It says right here, 5 out of 20. And I think, we're getting low on food. And since these wolves are dead, we're going to create more space. I'm gonna click this, gonna chop all these woods down. And I'm going to increase the road. I'm gonna cut off the road here. To make, so I can put more storage in this area and other useful things that for farming. We're going to take a storage unit and we're going to place that on the other side. I'm going to place it right, I don't know, probably like right here. That is fertile land, but I don't seem to be using it all that much. We're going to take this and, okay, we're going to place another couple blacksmiths down. Since I would like more armaments, we're going to place 2 more down so we can get up to 20. And since we have a lot of gold, since we are on 30% tax rate, we do get a pretty much good amount of gold for having the amount of defenses we do. And I'm going to create another tower over here to defend the housing and the people in the housing. And the reason I'm not creating ballistas right now, I just don't feel a large need for the ballista. The dragon hasn't done too much damage, and the Vikings have all been killed off, so. Okay. We're going to create the road right there. Now why I'm doing that is because I can create 2 more houses on each side. Well, yeah, 2 more. I counted that right. So this whole thing is a 16 by 5. And this is how I suggest most players do it. Mind you, this is how I generally do it. This is where I find the most amount of best way of building houses, because there's no peasant is too far away from any stockpile, and no peasant is too restrained by road system. Okay, we have 7. Okay, we do have 20 into the barracks, and we have 7 in the storage. So we're going to create our first military. Now, their peasants will come into the barracks and be trained as soldiers. If we look here, as you can see, being trained, lining up. And now we have our first swords unit. Now, there's different units. There's archers and catapults. Mainly as the other 2 units. There's transportation with ships and everything but that. But right now, we're not going to focus on that too much. This is going to help us clear out the rest of the island from wolves. Since we don't want to place our towers everywhere to kill off the wolves, I think the smartest thing to do right now is kill off the wolves near our iron mine. So there's the wolf den right here. We're going to place the people, the knights right above it, and they're just going to take care of it. Mind you, you will lose knights when you attack Vikings or defend against Vikings or against giants the Vikings may bring. It's the wolf extermination video. We want to get rid of the wolves just because they're a nuisance to us. They have served literally no purpose besides to limit the player early game. And we don't want too many peasants dying from the wolves. Okay, they're done with that one. We have 2 years until the next Viking raid, and we have 2 years from the next dragon. So they will probably come at the same time, which can be problematic. But since we have a small military, we should be fine. And we're also going to get this one. This whole process can take a few minutes. I can understand that. But I think we've got most of them in the area that I'm worried about. So we're going to return our knights to this kind of central location. This main road right here. And as you can see down here, there's 3 little buttons. And they all have their things. So right by clicking this button, the knights will attack everything in 10 squares of their, like a 10 square radius. By clicking this button, the knights will attack anything that gets on the island. And this one will have them stay in place. So, like, if a Viking's right here, or, like, literally right next to them, they'll go attack them. So, I suggest keeping it on 10 squares, unless you have your whole island walled, or, like, you have buildings down here and buildings over there, then I would suggest doing a whole island. But since we have so little things in the center right now, we're going to keep our Vikings right where we need them. Okay, so Vikings and Dragons are coming at the same time. Now, we don't have anything to really worry about, since we have 3 towers plus to keep. And we have a regiment of knights here. So we don't have anything too much to worry about. Dragon's gonna probably fly off before the Vikings get here, because it's gonna be dealt a lot of damage. Yep. Flying away. Well, nope, it's flying right next to the farms. Dang. I needed those farms. It is taking us a lot of damage. I was not expecting it to. Okay. Repair that. Up here are the knights. And see, the knights already automatically engaged them. And they won. That's really good. Now, since the Vikings did kill a couple knights, as you can see, a couple of knights are gone. We can click on the knight, and we can say recruit or return. I don't know what it actually says, but because I'm blind and I can't see. Oh my goodness, we're actually really low on food. This is kind of scary, actually. I'll create another road here. Gonna grab my farms, and I'm going to create a new farmland. And with that, I'm also going to create another storage. That should fix our food problem, definitely. Oh, people are going like starving. People are gonna start dying, actually. I think people are gonna get fine from this winter. Not too many people are gonna die, but there was a great famine. And our happiness is going down. Great. But since we have the barracks down, and we have our military, I think I'll leave the Great Famine till next episode, until we can fix that later. So I'm going to thank everyone who has watched this episode, and if you haven't watched the previous episodes, go do that. If you want to leave a comment on what I could do better, or what I might like to see in content-wise, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!